There we go. There we go. Takes a little while to get going on this this stream at the minute. Not sure why. Right, good evening everybody, and welcome to tonight's painting stream. Tonight we are painting a TIE Defender. So this is for a very special person, Chris over at I'm going to say Star Wars X-Wing or Rogue Outpost. And yeah, we're going to get this pole painted up. It's going to be in a blue scheme with a big white stripe along it, and yeah, quite looking forward to getting this one done. So stay tuned, hope you enjoy it, and away we go. So first things first, let's get a base colour down for the blue. So I'm going to be using Cantor blue. What I'm going to do, I'm going to dry brush this all over the model. So get this onto my large brush, wipe off the excess on my tissue. Get this all over the model. Try and keep it off the glass if I can, but it's not going to make a difference because we're going to be repainting that in a little while anyway. Like I said, with the black undercoat you can't really see the starting point for the ship. However, as the more and more blue goes on, you'll be able to see a lot more of it. So literally I'm just going to paint the entire model blue. And then we'll black out all of these panels a little bit later on. But blue's the main colour, so let's get all that down first. So yeah, so this paint scheme is inspired by some old classic cars, American muscle cars, I think. So it's gonna look great. So evening to the people that are already in the chat watching. Say hello. Hope you're well. Oop, easy tiger. It's doing a 4K turn already. So how is everybody on their Sunday evening? What are you up to? I think a few people around the country might have been playing some X-Wing today. If Chris, you're watching this on the rerun, so apologies it's taken a little while to get done, mate. It's been a bit of a busy time, but like I said before, looking forward to get this done for you, pal. I've already got that sort of image of how it's going to look in my head, so already happy with it. So let's see how we can make it happen. Anyone in the chat been painting this weekend or getting any projects done? was doing a little bit of painting just before the stream started as well, so not just painting on the stream. Just finished off the 501st Y-wing from the last stream, and a dial to go with it as well, so I've got all that finished now. Just don't have time on the stream tonight to do both, so I'm going to try and concentrate on this one. Maybe I would have turned the stream on before, it would have been a little bit too early, so not to worry though. Right, so let's have a quick look over all these panels and make sure I've not missed anything. So outside of that one and the inside, inside and outside, inside and outside. Needs a bit more on that panel there. So how's the audio, guys? Audio okay? How's it looking? Hopefully you can hear me. So audio is turned on. Okay, so that's looking good with some blue. It's a very dark colour, so it's hard to see it on the stream, especially with my lighting. I'm trying to improve my lighting at the moment and get it looking good for you guys. Be any brighter. So that's the brightest on that one. So there we go. Okay, so now, I'm going to stick with my Kantor blue base, and I'm going to mix in a little bit of Thousand Suns blue. Thousand Suns blue will just take up a little notch. It's not going to be too bright because the colour that Chris wants is quite a rich blue colour, so similar to the Kantor blue actually. However, we'll highlight it up and then we'll wash it back down, and then when we come to put the varnish on, that'll really make it stand out as well. So load the brush up, give it a good wipe of any excess off on there. Concentrate on these higher areas. Like I say, the wash is going to do a lot of the hard work for us in a little while. Top edges highlighted up nicely. So if you're watching in the chat, feel free to share the stream around. Let's get a few more people watching, that'd be great. Yes, this highlight's going on quite nicely actually. It's not too overpowering, so it means I've got the mix right. Usually you can tell when you're painting if you put a bit too much of that highlight colour in. It takes it a bit too far, a bit too quick. So you can just about see that. This is coming through nicely. And if the audio is working, you probably just heard them geese fly over. To be fair, I don't think I've seen many blue Imperials, so this will be quite a nice change. Usually it's black, white or red. I painted mine brown personally. Okay, so that's the second layer done, so I'm going to add a little bit more of that Thousand Suns blue into the mix. I recently picked up that Thousand Suns blue, and I tell you what, it's a really, really nice colour. Okay. It is. So I'm just drawing the brush across these upper edges now. Try and get that point of view. Very slow. It should be feeding through a bit quicker that. That's not good. That needs refreshing. A bit better, yeah. Got 3 down the bottom. There you go. So I'm just drawing the brush again, like a thick dry brushing technique, just to get the colour down. Oh, I can hear sound now on the laptop. That sounds a bit better. So hello everybody, if you can hear me. Hope you're all well. So in a minute I'm just getting all these blue highlights done. Quite rough, but getting them all in the right places, and we can black out again in a minute. So say hello if you're in the chat. It's always nice to know who's watching. So the blue's definitely coming on now. So the blue is looking good. Some of that blue back on the cockpit area. Oh, hey Rich. How we doing, pal? Did you play at Harlequins today, mate? Yeah, I'm good, pal. Doing alright. Doing a bit of Sunday evening painting. A blue Defender. Yeah, how did you get on? Okay, so that blue's gone on quite nice, so I'm going to go up another level with the Thousand Suns blue as sort of a final highlight. Oh, nice one, mate. 4th overall. How many was playing? Was there a relatively full room? I'd imagine there's probably about a dozen, maybe. Oh, 4. No, I don't believe you. It couldn't have been just 4. But then again, maybe. Yeah, there you go. But I said, there's no way there was 4 people. Well, that's a good result, that, mate. What were you flying? Love a bit of humour on the stream, that's what it's all about. Boba Fett, yep, still very strong, mate. Still very strong. So was did anyone own enough Nantex to take 5 or 6? And are they notorious for having many friends? Okay, so the layers of the blue have gone down quite well. Trick is, if you're doing sort of this heavy dry brush, is not to have too much paint on the brush. Takes a little bit of practice to get that right, but it's good for putting in block colours, especially when there's a lot of texture on a surface. Okay, so I am happy with that so far. So let's work on the canopy now. Clean my brush off. Right, so none at all, eh, mate? That's interesting. So what lists were making the top tables then? Was there anything spicy, anything new? Right, so I'm going to paint the glass on the cockpit in a black, and then I'm also going to do the trim in a grey colour, is what I've decided. So using Abaddon Black and a size 0 brush. Get that smoothly blocked in. Just a touch more water. It's the glass actually. Triple Brobots, eh? That's quite good. But you'll like them new, that new, is it a synchronized cannon or something that's coming out in one of the new expansions. Okay, so I'm going to block out the glass there. Like I say, I'm going to be leaving this black anyway. It's not too bad. And then I'm going to be painting the trim of the glass with Mechanicus standard grey base.
Hey Google, set a timer, 5 minutes.
Second timer for 5 minutes, and that's starting now.
Yeah, I bet they turned up expecting some Nantex. But I suppose the only problem with a Nantex list is that you've got to own that many of them. You know, unless you were a bit gung-ho when they came out. You know, even then you might only own a few. So, do we think we're going to see it that much in person? Who knows? But I suppose the obvious counter to it is, I suppose, delayed fuse bombs. I've been looking at some lists with Punishers, Captain Nim, Eamon as well. So I think if you can get your control with the bombs right, I think Nantex Swarm's gonna get pounded. So that's my take on it anyway. I'm gonna start bringing some bomb lists. I missed me bombs. Yeah, I think last time I actually ran some bombs properly was in First Ed when the Ghost could drop a bomb with a Sabine crew on it. That was always my favourite. So,
Do you want yours now?
not yet, no. Yeah, triple silencers are good. Played against Ewan in the league. They're just solid. Good greens, good reds. You know, if you get a good few rolls in there as well, you know, it's you know, and they're going to dodge out of the way of them as well. You know, then it becomes an initiative bid war, doesn't it? Okay, so that's the canopy done on the front there for now. I'm going to work on some highlights on some of the blue with brush now. So this is literally just an edge highlight. And then we're going to wash it after we've done the blacking out of the panels. So that's always a really time consuming bit. Baked potatoes for teammate. So I'll be on until about, I don't know, probably about for another hour.
It'll be cold.
So just warm up a little bit. Right, so let's go with the blacking out now. That sounds like it was a good turnout, mate, to be fair. So, right before we're all going to get locked down again tomorrow. So did everyone have to wear... obviously everyone had to wear masks and stuff. You know, kind of goes without saying. But did 12 feel like a good number to have in a room? Need to water that down a bit more. So yeah, so just watering the paint down a little bit just so it flows into all the little nooks and crannies of these sort of solar panels. Noisy bugger. I know you're noisy. That's just a case of getting round all 5 million of them and getting them all filled in. The worst part about painting this model. And I've painted many of them.
Hey Google, stop.
Yeah, like I say, everyone's going to be using the common sense with it. You know, I don't think anyone's going to go there and jeopardise the potential, are they? And if they do, then they need a clip around the ear anyway.
Hey Google, stop.
Yeah, but it's good to hear people actually playing some real X-Wing. It's positive. So was it a store kit or anything like that, or was it just a normal tournament? So a few people watching. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. She's been very noisy, isn't she? How'd you know it's the wife? Could be the chef. Imagine.
Maybe it's a dog long.
So what time did everything finish today, Rich? Was it an early finish or? Well, that's not too bad. I suppose with only 12 players, how many games you playing? 4? Hopefully smell outside again.
You didn't want any of this coronation chicken, did you?
No, I'm alright, thank you.
Good God.
Definitely bought it for you. Yeah, so not a bad guess then, eh, pal? Not a bad guess. So did anyone in the chat ever go on the Enigma code yesterday? That was the final day. So many different nicknames about on different platforms. It's hard to know who's who.
Shush.
So yeah, this is the exciting bit about painting Imperial models when you're gonna black out all the panels. Sure, we've all been there. Like I say, getting that blue down was quite important. Getting it down right.
Strays don't need ID. Welcome to the free world. Next station, shopping mall.
So yes, a few of the others that have joined. So the idea with this Defender is that obviously it's very blue. It's inspired by some American classic cars. So painting this up for a friend of the channel. Like I say, it's coming together quite nicely so far already. So anyone else working on any projects at the minute? Let me know. I'll be interested to see them. If you want to share them, drop some onto the Enigma Wargaming page. It's on one of the streams. You know, the stream notification or announcement for tonight. Let's whack them in there. So there you go. You can see that's come together quite nicely just with the blacking out. Okay, so that's one down. 2 more to go. Yeah, trick to doing these panels is keeping the water of a good consistency, that not water, the paint of a good consistency so that it flows nicely. Yeah, you definitely can't pour it on straight out the pot, it just won't spread.
You didn't take it personally, right? No, not personally. But I took it to heart. Bob has an idea.
So have you had any ideas, Rich, or anyone else in the chat, for anti-Nantex lists? You know, is there anything you want to try out? Anything you think will work quite well? Just saying before, I think control bombs might be a really good way of herding them around and picking them off. In my opinion. So I'm going to start having a little bit of a play with bombs now. It's always been quite a fun aspect to the game. And when they changed it down to the system phase, I think a lot of people went off bombs, didn't they? However, I think with a few of the little tricks that are coming out with delayed fuses in a few of the characters, I think bombs will have their day, I think. Then everyone will moan about that, and then that'll get changed. Yeah, so the plan is we'll get these panels filled in here. Get all these done. And then we can move on to getting the final blue highlights done. Like I say, it's not far off really. Once you've got all these block colours done in all your base colours, it's just a case of really just doing your highlights, getting them tidied up. Yeah, if you're going down the road of high initiative aces, then I like bombs still. I think bombs will have a lot of counter. So it's like when I'm thinking about lists, I kind of think about what's the counter to the counter as well. And if you can answer the same question with the same list, you're not doing too bad. However, you know, if the bomb list is going to work, it still has to be able to dish out a few punches and take a few punches. So I think a fire spray, possibly. Well, I've got two lists. First one is Nim with Eamon, and it's also Just Aero in there. So kind of your standard sort of way it works. And then the other list I'm working on at the moment is I've thrown in Guri in there. Not for any bombs or anything, just think the amount of positions she can get with her advanced sensors is ridiculous. So, I've got Guri, I've got Nim, and then I've got Eamon as well. Now, they're all pretty light, however, it's looking... all your messages have been deleted. Have you refreshed your stream? If you refresh the stream, sometimes it does that, mate. I can still see him on my list here. Yeah, I think especially throwing out the bombs in weird directions could be good. But I'll be honest, I'm liking Nim with Trajectory Simulator, Protons, and then also with Delayed Fuses. So we can pretty much, you could hold 2 a turn if you wanted to. The one he throws and the one he's already thrown. And then if you can just herd them into a certain area, then that's gotta be, it's gotta have a chance, surely. You know, Nantex don't want to be taking crits. So proton bombs would scare the out of them, wouldn't it? It'd scare me if I was flying them anyway. You know, but they can just get out of the way. You know, the hard one barrel roll. But you know, if you're keeping them at arm's length and herding them around a little bit, then that's got to be the best way to fight them. Because they don't want to be fighting you from, well, they want to be fighting you up close and personal, don't they? So they can get into your barrel roll off and still get the bullseyes off. But if you're keeping them at sort of range 2, range 3 behind a screen of bombs, you know, they're taking pot shots. You know, they're possible 2 dice with a focus. Nah, I think you've kept him well out of the way and well at bay if you can do that to him. Okay, that's the 3rd wing done. Let's get the 4th one done. Sorry, that's the 2nd wing done. Let's get the 3rd one done. I can count, honest.
As long as I'm with you, the one in danger. He's not after you, he's after me. He wants to scrap me. I have to turn myself in to save my friends' lives.
Oh, thanks for the follow. I would imagine that's Alessandro. So, welcome. It's nice to get some fresh names in the room.
I heard that there's a huge mouth outside of the city that grinds every bottle that comes its way to Paul. And the mouth never stops chewing. It jumps and it jumps day and a night. And the cries of those poor souls. And the sounds of those cracked leaves. Lie down now. Ouch!
So, we are nearly there.
I have to go and look for Bob. I'm going to find him. He's not alone. We are friends for life.
I'm coming with you, Roger. No, we're all going.
So, hope everyone's well tonight. Thank you for tuning in.
Together we'll attract too much attention. Besides, I strongly feel that Bob's and my fate are somehow connected. I have to find out
Yeah, I'll be on a Wednesday, pal. So Wednesday about 11 o'clock seems to be my normal time at the minute. It's quite a good time of the day, to be fair. So I enjoy that actually. But I've got plenty of commissions on at the minute, so every stream will be action packed with models.
Your friends are lost.
Yank those whiskers right out of your chin if you say that again, you little dumpling.
Yeah, so I've got plenty to paint at the minute. I think if we go into a second lockdown, I think I won't be very bored, put it that way. We'll see how that goes. I hope there isn't a second lockdown, because that would be pretty rubbish.
If you succeed in opening the gate that leads to it.
Piece of cake. What a stench.
It's the stench of hell. The path to Robo World is the path through the underworld. It's dangerous to take it.
I will. And if I stink for the rest of my life, so what?
Yeah, try and make it a more well, like I say, it's in my schedule now, so unless things change at work with my days off and things like that, I think Wednesdays will be the day for a little while. So I'm hopeful anyway. Okay, that's the outside of that wing done. Now for the inside. But yeah, really like this blue colour. That's come out really nice. But still a bit of work to do yet. So I'm just gonna take him off his base. So that base stem can have a habit of getting in the way. But yeah, so did a lot of work on the blue to start with. For anyone that's new in the chat, it's just the quickest way of doing it is just to go for it with sort of a heavy dry brush to start with. Gets all the bits you need, and then the time you save, you're just blocking in the black on the inside of the wings. So the trick to painting these Imperial wings is just to get a little bit of extra moisture, so a bit of water into your mix, and that helps. So, oh, no problem, Rich. Take care, mate. I'll see you soon. Enjoy your tea. Yeah. Was it? Oh, right, okay. So we have got just one wing left there now to go. So let's get these last ones filled. And then we can start getting some highlighting done. So as well, if maybe a few of you haven't seen it already, my Patreon is now live. So we're doing a monthly giveaway every month to all the patrons. So you go into a free giveaway and one lucky patron will win whatever it is for that month. So for the month of September, we've got a small base ship of your choice, which can be custom painted. Yep, see you soon, mate. And I'll and then as and when the number of people that get involved increases, we'll make the prizes bigger and better. So it's definitely worth getting involved. you know, at the moment I've got, I think it's 8 people that are eligible for the September giveaway. So I suppose if you sign up, you'd have a 1 in 9 chance of winning, as well as all the extra benefits you get with it as well. So if you fancy that, feel free to head over to it, sign up, be part of the Enigma community. It'd be great. And you know, thank you for being here and watching this. So thank you. Okay, so I've done all the blacking out there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do some, well, first things first, let's paint that stem black. We're going to do a few blue highlights around the model. So I'm going to go back to the,
Move your hands higher. Hands higher. Can't see it.
just wait a minute. So we're going to go to the Thousand Sun blue that we used before. Okay, we're getting there. So we have got a lot of the base colours down now. Okie dokie. So, Thousand Suns blue then. Like I said before, it's a new colour that I've picked up. I really like the tone of it and how it mixes into some of the other colours. So I'm going to do some fine highlighting with that. I'm going to do that around the cockpit area first. So let's get back on the base. Makes it just a little easier to handle. So we're going to do that just around the cockpit area to start with. Just get onto these edges. Like I said, I'm not trying to overpower the model with this colour, because the model is actually supposed to be a dark blue colour, but we're still going to put a wash on yet. So this is literally getting some of those highlights in the right places just before we stick the wash down. The idea with this one as well is that there will be a white stripe across the top and the front, but we'll get to that shortly. Okay, so just going to get a little bit of paint on these top edges, just to give it a little bit more colour. There you go, you can see that's making quite a good difference there. Well, let's get onto these other edges as well. So thank you for everyone for joining in, or re-watching, one of the two. So getting the blue on some of these high areas as well. doke. So again, if you can just, it's hard to see the highlights are so subtle at this stage. It is hard to see them.
Can you bring them ones in too and put them in the back?
There needs some more lighting, I think. I say the lights I've got seem to be working okay. Hopefully you can sort of see that a bit better. You know, always open for any criticism and constructive feedback. You know, if something doesn't look right, let me know. You know, if it doesn't sound right, let me know. You know, let's get this right and get the quality improving. Yeah, that's part of why I started the Patreon as well. Is you know, get the investment back into the channel, make it better for you guys. You know, if you enjoy this sort of thing, then fantastic. You know, let's make it better. Okie dokie. So it's coming together really nicely at the moment. Actually, it's a really nice dark blue colour. Let's get a few more highlights down this centre section. So what I'm doing here, I'm just trying to pick out all of these sort of high edges that are going to catch the light. Okie dokie. Right, so it still needs a little bit of a wash on there now. So what we're going to do is move to a bigger brush. I'm going to get my wash mainly on the middle section, not so much to the yeah, not so much to the outside. So also just give you a quick preview of one that we've completed last couple of days. So I did another 501st Y-wing. Really love this model. At first I wasn't overly sure on it, but the more and more of these I paint, the more and more I like it. So I think my Republic fleet might get a little bit of a helping hand. And then also as well, just working through a character dial as well, because it's to go with Ahsoka's clone troopers that she was with. So that's a custom dial cover that I've done so far. So let me know what you think. Looks pretty good. Quite happy with that so far. It's looking all right. So let's just get some varnish on that and finish off a few of the fine edges. But you know, we're nearly there. Right. So let's get this dark wash done on the blue. Okay, so I've just gone for a thin black wash. Just going to get that over this main section here. So it's going to sit into some of the recesses and make that highlight pop for me. Again, just a good good wash on a model really does, you know, it picks out those details, it picks out the shade that might not otherwise have been picked out by your brush stroke, and it's just such an easy part of the process to get right. Yeah, the problem is obviously on camera it goes a little bit shiny, but once it's dried it'll look fantastic. So let's take that excess off my brush and wipe the excess off here in the raised areas anyway. You know, you don't want to take it out of the depressions. Okie dokie. So that's in there. So what I'm going to move on to now, while that dries a little bit, I'm going to move on to the canopy. So we're going black, and we're going to leave it black as well. So just because of the colour of the model, I think if I did any reds or greens, it would just kind of draw it too much into the final colour of the model. So I'm going to leave it grey around the outside, and then on the inside we'll get our star glare done. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, it's as easy as literally this. So you get your white, you get a very fine brush, just dip the tip in, and it pulls out a very, very fraction of paint on the end. Then I like to highlight the top left corner as I look at it when I paint it. And just stick a little dab on there, like that. And if you can see that on there, that's the glare on the canopy. So it looks pretty good. Easy as that, just a little dab, done. And then what we're going to do is going to get a little bit of a highlight done on this grey surround as well. So I'm going to use Adeptus Mechanicus Grey, which was the colour I put down first. And I'm going to mix in a touch of Dawnstone, which is a layer grey paint. So I'll add that in, and then what I'm trying to do here is just pick out the high edges. So front and centre. Get the high edges touched up. And again, Chris, if you're watching on the rerun or if you're watching live, hope you like the progress, mate. Again, I'll give you a shout just to make sure you're happy with things. If we need to change anything, then we can. That's just the way I work for my commissions. You know, we talk about it, we discuss it, we get it right, and then we work through it. Okie dokie. Right, so that's looking okay. I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to go back and do another highlight of the blue, because I think it's dulled down a touch of it a little on the edges, a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for Thousand Suns blue again. I'm going to stick a touch of white in it just to pick it up a bit further than what was on the model. And these are the very, very top highlights. So this is going to be round the canopy. And what that'll do is it just frames itself a little bit. That's a little recess around it. Okay, so that kind of adds a bit of glow to the front. So again, top highlight on this ridge bar here. Again, it's not going to go all the way around the model. Bit around the top canopy. Just a bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all the edges. Sort of those front edges of these top wings.
Have you not thought about getting your nose done?
I think it's big enough.
You never get a stupid whistle.
So hello to everybody else that's in the chat. You know, feel free to say hello.
Sometimes you have to get a load off your shoulders to stay on top of things.
Okay, so it's coming together quite nicely at the minute. Like I say, you can just see it in this bottom corner of the screen. Highlight the top edges, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get in here. There's a couple more high edges that I want to catch. Yeah, I can see the effect it's having on the model. It's looking pretty good. So stick something on these round ones. And then these little stripes. So I've got my fine brush anyway. But I'm just going to highlight them up. Again, so it was quite dark before. You can see where I'm painting here. And you set these little lines in, it just breaks it straight up. Yeah, it looks quite. You can see how the highlights are starting to jump out a little bit. Okie dokie. Right. So now we need to look at a white stripe on the model. So the picture that I was sent, let me see if I can drop it on the screen here. Would be quite good if I could actually. Here we go. So custom image. Let's see if I can drop this on. So I'm just going to try that now. Let's see if I can do it. So here is the custom image there. So hopefully that should pop up on the screen. To do like this, a nice block, creamy white through the middle, and then we can go from there, and that's the plan. So let's. There we go. So I've taken that. On the screen. You can see. So it did work. Very good. So yeah, so now what we're going to do is, obviously after you've seen that now, I'm just kind of watching the rerun on my laptop next to me as it's catching up. So the idea is we'll get that white stripe done now down the middle. So I'm going to do it across the top of the canopy. I think is the logical place to put it. Then there was also 2 white stripes on, red stripes on there as well, which I think we're going to try and get on here as well. So we'll have a go with that. We'll see how that goes. So the colours I'm going to use for that then, the base colour for the white is going to be my favourite paint that I use all the time. So Celestra Grey base paint. So we'll get that in the right place. So what do you think so far, guys? You know, the ones that have been watching. You know, quite simple techniques to get this finished so far. So again, nothing majorly magical going on, but it's just a solid techniques that make things go quite easy. So I think I'm going to paint the canopy on the top all the way to the front. And we'll get this colour all the way to the back of the top. Sorry guys, I'm kind of pulling it close to my face there so I can actually get in there and see what I'm painting. Sorry, gone quiet a little bit there, just concentrating. Okay, so what I try and do as well, and I've kind of mentioned this in a few of my other videos, is try and reference points on the hull to keep, you know, any lines in the right places, to get width of lines right. So literally I've just put it down the same part of the upper section of this canopy. Gone so far over on one side. And then I'm also going to extend this out the back as well, because on the car it was all the way around the back. So there's a couple of lines here on this back section. So if you can see that, I'm just putting this line in here. So there's the white line on the back. I think I'm going to do this all the way around it. I think that'll look quite good if I can do it underneath it as well. So white line there, white line there. It's looking pretty good. So let's get this white line all the way to the back. Okay, so you can see how that white stripe looks on the top. So we need to do a little bit of work on that bottom part of the canopy centre. So I've done my white, I'm just going to let that dry a second. So I need a bit of Mechanicus Standard Grey. So as well, you'll see that I flip between sections while I'm waiting for it to dry. Yeah, you're not wasting any time then, you know, if you spot something that needs fixing, go fix it. Okie doke. Right, so let's highlight that now. So the Celestra Grey, going to add in a little bit of Ceramite White, just to pick it up. Here we go. So, is there any requests for any ships you'd like painted on stream? Anything you'd like to see done, or any specific ones? You know, let me know. You know, got plenty of ships that I need to paint coming up anyway. But if there's anything people are interested in, then I can always do something like that too. Okay, so let's add a little bit more white in. Okay. Yeah, so a bit more white into that Ceramite White and Celestra Grey mix. It's coming up more towards the white end of the spectrum now. Again, let's get this in the right place. So just paint that section there. Okay, so that's come together really nicely. So, I don't know, you have to wait a couple of minutes, I'm nearly done. Okie dokie, so, bit of paint on there. Okie doke. So, that's the basic principle of the colour scheme anyway, that I'm quite happy with. Need to get a couple of red stripes on here somewhere on the left, so I'm half tempted to get them here. However, I will wait for that because I'll need to just speak to the person about it. So one thing I can do straight away is let's get some metallic colours on these guns. So I'm going to use a silver colour. So we're going to base coat them with lead belcher. Literally just to the end of the at the top there. Brush on this. of these guns covered. So as it comes around the inside there, it just catches the end of the wingtip. It's a bit bigger on the outside, just take it back a little touch. Okay, so that's that bit done. I think I'm going to make the central section of this round part at the top. I'm going to pick that out, it's just a little bit too blue on the top there, so let's just pick those out on each wing. So I'm also looking for balance as well when I'm painting. You know, if an area looks too saturated with one certain colour, you know, how can I break that up? And usually I'll do it on the fly as I'm painting. So sometimes it's a spontaneous decision to go, right, I'm going to paint that this colour because that needs breaking up. It's kind of a bit of intuition while I'm painting. You know, it's one of them, you kind of know when you do and don't like something. And what I've always said with my painting is that if you don't like it, just rework it. You know, just don't overwork it. You know, think about what would look nice, try and visualise it. If you can get that visualisation going, you know, you kind of have half an idea of what it's going to look like. Then I suppose the hard bit is just the execution then, isn't it, and just getting it done. So I'm also, again, I think it's too blue in here. So what I'm going to do is, again with the lead belcher, there's like a round section just where the wings connect there. Fill that with a bit of silver, and then that breaks up the blue as well. Okie dokie. So, it's coming together really nicely there. Tell me what you think, guys. Does it look good? And then, for the guns, I'm just going to mix a little bit of silver in. Yeah, mix a little bit of silver in. Just top edges of the guns. And then we're going to wash this in a minute as well. So that's why I'm being a little bit rough. Because once we wash it, that shades it as well. Okie dokie. So I'm thinking about guns now. So I don't think I want to do red. I do think green's definitely still the way to go with this. So similar to what we did with the spot on the canopy before, with the guns I just get my paint, which is moot green layer, and then I'm literally going to dab this on to the ends of the guns. So dip my paintbrush in, dab, 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 dab. Dab, dab, as they say. Then we've got two down here. And again, these little spots of green will break up the blue as well. And then we've got more cannons on the inside of the wings. In fact, this green's going really well with this blue. Looks good. And there we go. And look how much different that looks just by adding those little green spots in. Yeah, really, really happy with that so far. Okay, so we are nearly there. So I think I need to do a little bit more work on the white stripe. Again, it looks okay, but I think just a very faint wash over it, just to shade a couple of them low areas. So let's do that on there. Put a little bit too much on though, so clear my brush of any excess and then go back and absorb it back up. Okay, so now we need to just add a little bit more onto this metal area, so I'm going to wash those little rings that we did, front and back. Now a little wash on the ones on the wings. So I'm just looking over the model now, seeing where we can make an improvement. So for me, I feel like I need to add some highlights towards the edge of these wings on the upper parts. So this will mean coming into these panels and just adding some highlights. Now I don't need to do it on all the panels around the model, but if I'm playing a game, you know, the edges you're going to see on the top, the edge of this wing, top of that wing, and so forth. So that's my plan, that's what I'm going to do, just to take that highlighting to the next level. So back to my Thousand Suns blue, and everything's just, I'm working through it all the time, think, and get it right. So what I'm going to do is, so I like that edge there. So it took it, but that brush is too big. So although I have the control, so change to a smaller brush, and that was much better. So let's do that again on the other wing. So in there. So you just want to do the raised edge. You know, you're not filling the full gap. Okay, so that worked quite well.
Doesn't she have a beautiful complexion? She's like a PSA for SPF. Thank you, Al. I thought you were gone. Oh, home? No. I have a derm white speed. I'm actually feeling a little bit muddy. I thought I'd need a light exfoliation followed by some super rich hydration. And I thought Victoria will have a good recommendation for me. Sorry, it's really isn't the best time. No, I know you're very busy, so I already called your facialist. The thing is, she said, come in today. Someplace new. Is that all? No, that's not all.
There we go. So welcome to the new people that have popped back in. Hope you're all well on this Sunday evening. So just coming towards the last bit of the blue. Just getting these edge highlights done. Let's see what we're trying to do here. So it's a dark blue Defender with a big white stripe across the top of it. Still working towards that. Look at the front. Looks pretty good. And then from the back you got that white stripe across the back as well. So plan is now I'm going to put a couple of red stripes up just on this left side. Here's my plan. Yeah. So happy with the blue. Let's move on to the red. So I'll start off now with Mephiston red is one of my colours I like to use. I always mix it with a little bit of brown first, just to drop down the tone. So let me find the one I like to use, which is Rhinox hide. So the two I use. So you got Rhinox hide and Mephiston red. Just a little bit of Rhinox hide, a little bit of Mephiston red. That's your base colour. And then, so I need to do 2 red stripes, similar to what was in the picture that I loaded up before. So the idea is there were 2 offset angle lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, if you can just see there's a line that comes across here. So I'm going to use that as my starting point. So one line there, and another line. So a lot of these defenders have markings there anyway, so it makes sense to add them in. So let's try and get the end of it capped off in an even way. Lovely. Okay, so I'm actually quite happy with that. That seems to be the right place. Add a little bit more Mephiston red into the mix. Highlight towards the top. Okay, so there we go. So you can just see them red lines on the side. Again, once they dry, they'll be a little bit less shiny. So on the whole, that is it done. So all I need to do now is get my gloss varnish that I use. So I drop a little bit into the cap. So yeah, a little bit into the cap. Get one of my old brushes that I used to apply it. So gloss varnish onto the canopy. So I'll do that all the way around. So that'll end up being nice and shiny. And then I'll stick a little bit over each of the guns so that the green doesn't run off when it wear off when it's being handled. So that's on there, and a last little bit on the front. Bit too much on that one, but it's done. Okay, and then that gloss varnish will dry, and then that is virtually finished. So there we go, guys. That's my repaint of the TIE Defender. So it's taken about an hour and a half to do so far. Still a little bit more to do. I have to go back to the client and speak to them and see how they like the progress. If there's anything they'd like to change, or to, you know, improve on. Usually the small base ships take me about 2 hours to paint, so, you know, done in an hour and a half. You know, we've done quite a quick, clean job on this. Yeah, I'm quite happy with it actually. It's turned out really nicely. So just need to tidy up the stem, and everything else. Got a nice little highlight on there, ready for battles in the skies and over these planets in the stars. So all good fun. So anyway, thanks very much for watching, guys. Remember, go and check me out on my social media. If you want to get involved with my Patreon, please feel free to go over there and have a look at the different tiers I've got. If you become a patron in September, you will be eligible for my September giveaway. You'll get a small base ship, new expansion of your choice, and custom painted as well. So thank you everyone for watching. Remember, go check out that Patreon. Loads of stuff going on over there, including a VIP tier as well. Go and have a read. You know, you'll be pleasantly surprised. So, you know, I give a lot back, and it's all about, let's take this channel to the next level. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen, you know, please let me know. It's great, and I appreciate everyone that comes and watches and comments. And we'll see you all soon. So thanks again, guys, and take care.